Forgotten concepts, the Infiniti Q50 Eau Rouge with a GT-R engine. This Supersedan could have changed everything, but got axed at the last moment. 10 years ago, the world of fast cars nearly took a completely different turn. One nearly production-ready car had the potential to shake things up. Or maybe not. We'll never know. History doesn't care about what-ifs. But we were lucky enough to get close to this machine. And now we'll tell you the whole story. That old cliche of a wolf in sheep's clothing? It fits most high-performance versions of regular cars. But with the Infiniti Q50 Eau Rouge, it wasn't just a wolf under the hood, it was Godzilla. Yep, this thing was packing an engine straight out of the Nissan GT-R, roaring beneath a red hood. Who knows? Maybe by now the French phrase Eau Rouge would make you think of something totally different. It's pronounced Eau Rouge. Sounds kind of like weapon in English. And literally means red water. F1 fans will recognize it instantly. It's the name of a fast and dangerous corner at the Spa-Francorchamps track in Belgium, home of the Belgian Grand Prix. The corner was named after a small stream nearby. Using that name for a car? Bold move. And if you want to really feel the drama of it, check out Ilya Frolov's deep dive into its history. Fun fact, he got to take that legendary corner in a car that's central to this story. The name Eau Rouge wasn't the original project title. Internally, the secret build was first called Raijin, named after the Japanese god of thunder. Since many Infiniti engineers and managers were European, the project picked up the nickname Thunderclap, a fitting title that means both a sudden clap of thunder and a bolt from the blue. Peter Smith, who held the complicated job title of Deputy Director of Program Management, still remembers being stunned when Infiniti President Johan de Nissan floated the idea of putting a GT-R engine into the Q50. Smith basically muttered, "I'll see what we can do." A while later, he came back with 3 possible scenarios, each with different levels of ambition. Option 1. Add turbos to the 3.7-liter V6 already in some Q50s. Sounds doable. Around the same time at the 2014 Detroit Auto Show, BMW unveiled the new M3 F80, which had ditched its V8 in favor of a turbocharged inline-6. Option 2. Drop in the 5.6-liter V8 from the massive QX80 SUV. Not a crazy idea either. After all, Mercedes was still putting a 6.2-liter V8 into the C63 AMG W204 back then. Option 3, the wild one. Install the twin-turbo V6 from the Nissan GT-R. And that's where things got serious. The easiest way would have been to just stick a Q50 body on top of the GT-R's guts, Smith says. Nissan had done something similar before with the Wild Juke R, a Frankenstein crossover that was basically a GT-R underneath. But this time the goal was to create a fully developed production car with real-world practicality and production feasibility. Even more ambitious, the Eau Rouge was supposed to use only Nissan and Infiniti parts. That's harder than it sounds. The Q50 has a traditional setup, engine in the front, rear, or all-wheel drive. The GT-R's layout is more exotic. Engine also in the front, but mounted way behind the front axle, with a 6-speed dual-clutch transmission all the way at the back under the rear seats. That's a transaxle layout. Even crazier, GT-R engineers figured out how to make it all-wheel drive by running the front drive shaft through the hollow carbon fiber rear drive shaft. The 3.8-liter twin-turbo V6 made a wild 568 horsepower. Insane numbers for that time. But stuffing it into the Q50's engine bay meant reworking the mounts, steering, and suspension. The front track was widened by 3 centimeters. The hardest part? Fitting the GT-R's massive cooling system. They couldn't keep the GT-R's transaxle setup. No way. The Q50's wheelbase was 7 centimeters longer, and keeping the layout would have killed the back seat and trunk space. So they paired the engine with a 7-speed Jatco automatic from Infiniti's V8 models. The torque converter was beefed up to handle the 600 Newton-meters of torque. Stock GT-R torque was 628 Newton-meters. The engine tuning was also revised. Power went up from 540 to 568 horsepower. The rear differential came from the bigger Q70 sedan. Brakes straight from the GT-R. When I saw the prototype, I wasn't even allowed to move it for photos. That's how secretive and fragile it was. A special technician was there just for that. And yeah, the trunk floor was definitely higher than usual. But the toughest job was packaging the GT-R's complex cooling system. Two oil coolers and an intercooler had to fit into the Q50's nose. Somehow they pulled it off. Then came new intake and exhaust systems. Meanwhile, designers built a new carbon fiber body kit. Everything was functional. Aerodynamics were tested in the wind tunnel by Infiniti Red Bull Racing. They even lowered the ride height by 15 to 20 millimeters. Oh, and F1 legend Sebastian Vettel helped tune the car. Surprisingly, his first feedback? Change the seat design. The photos we took were of the real prototype, shot in Hong Kong, where Infiniti's HQ was back then, in June. We expected the car to appear at the Moscow Auto Show in August. And back then, talk of mass production wasn't just hype. It felt real. The engineers knew what they had. A sedan with more power than a BMW M5, but with AWD and the footprint of an M3. It could do 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in under 4 seconds. Top speed, 290 km of час. I was so fired up about the Eau Rouge that I wrote this line when I got back. There's every reason to believe this isn't just a wild concept. It could really happen. Infiniti's working with an elite F1 team, and Sebastian Vettel is helping tune the cars. It finally feels like Infiniti's getting that sporty image it always wanted. Renault Sport may soon have equally crazy friends within the Renault-Nissan alliance. Can't wait. If you like multiverse theories, then maybe in some alternate world, the Q50 Eau Rouge is already in its second generation, and the GT-R too. But here on planet Earth, things turned out differently. The Eau Rouge story ended exactly 10 years ago, on December 29, 2014. There was no official cancellation announcement, of course. These things usually just quietly fade away. But that day, Johan de Nissan, by then running Cadillac, posted a sharp and bitter message on a certain social network. I heard Noboru Tateshi, Nissan VP, plans to kill the Eau Rouge now that I'm not there to push it. Ask Audi or Cadillac engineers to build a 560 horsepower sedan, and you'll have to stop them. At Infiniti, it seems hopeless. They're way more excited about driver assistance than drivers' cars. In the end, the Supersedan left barely a ripple. Infiniti dropped its Formula One ties and never built a proper halo car, the kind of machine that showcases cutting-edge tech and sets the tone for the brand. Think Honda NSX, Lexus LFA, or of course the Nissan GT-R. It's hard to believe that Nissan never considered making a proper Infiniti supercar based on the GT-R. After all, if Godzilla's parts made it into the Juke R, why not something truly epic?